Welcome into another episode of The Latest with Devin and Rob Greco filling in for Brendan McLaughlin. We are excited to break down the hottest in pro and high school sports. Let's hop right into it. Patriots coming off a solid 34-13 win last week against the Cincinnati Bengals, a much-needed win coming off a two-game losing streak. Rob, what did you love about the Patriots?
I love the Patriots. Strong running game. Rex Burkhead had a touchdown, but the wide receivers really didn't do too much. Edwin only had 2 catches for about 9 yards, and I think Brady had maybe 2 picks in the game.
Yeah, it was a tough play for the offense. Has been the Patriots' struggles most of the year, but the wide receivers I thought played a little better. I mean, N'Keal Harry with a touchdown, he looked outstanding, and I think he's starting to earn Brady's trust more after his game in Kansas City and now Cincinnati. I think Tom Brady is the big part of this offense that needs to step up, though. He has had a tough time finding receivers, but his receiving core is not that good, so it's been difficult on both ends. How do you feel about the Antonio Brown not bringing him back officially? What do you think about that? What do you think with Kraft?
I feel like it's a smart move for the Patriots because they're already hated enough around the NFL, and now that they're refusing to bring back a player that could really help their offense, but they're not really choosing to bring back those bad, that cancerous type of player in the locker room. I feel like it's kind of a step up for the Patriots.
Even though you've seen everything he's put out on social media, all the apologies, he's done everything in his power to try and apologize to Kraft and the Patriots front office, but you still don't think bringing him back because they need receivers right now.
Yeah.
So you're okay with Kraft's decision to not?
I am, because every NFL team he's been through, he's kind of broken it all up. The Steelers, he broke that organization up. The Raiders, he tore them apart. Now the Patriots, he really hasn't done much for the Patriots, but still, it's a smart move for Kraft not to bring him back.
All right, interesting take on that. Stephon Gilmore, he had 2 interceptions last week. He's tied for the league lead with 6 interceptions, tied with Tre'Davious White of the Bills, who we'll get into in a little bit. But Stephon Gilmore with a pick 6 and an interception last week. He looked outstanding. Arguably the best corner in football, defensive player of the year candidate. Mm-hmm. Rob, what do we like about the Patriots defense along with Gilmore?
I think their secondary is really strong. That's about it.
I think the linebackers, Landon Roberts played really well last week, as well as Donta Hightower, who was selected to the Pro Bowl. I think it was Gilmore, Hightower, and Slater that went to the Pro Bowl from the Patriots. So good to see from them. But looking forward to this week against the Bills. This is a huge game for the Patriots. 11-3, Bills 10-4. This game is pretty much for the division because you think Patriots win against Buffalo. They got pretty much a bye week against Miami in Week 17. So this is pretty much for the division right here.
Yeah.
Huge game at Gillette, 4:30 tomorrow. Huge game.
I think they're both the defenses are stellar. This is going to be a great defensive matchup. Probably not too high scoring, so it's going to be a fun one to watch.
And Tre'Davious White opposite of Stephon Gilmore, each on opposing defenses. So it'll be very interesting to see how that plays out.
Yeah.
I'm not sure of much players on the Bills' defense. They don't have Mario Williams anymore. He's old, but he used to be outstanding. The Pats' defense, I think they're going to have to stop the run with Josh Allen, and you think Devin Singletary, Frank Gore. The Bills have a strong run game. What do you think is going to be a key if the Patriots want to pull this one out for the division and probably secure the first-round bye?
I think Tom Brady's going to have to step it up. The offense hasn't really been too good. Brady himself, throwing picks left and right. He hasn't really been hitting his receivers that well. Passes kind of flaring out there. The running game's looking pretty good, and the defense is looking really good, so I'm just hoping that Brady can step it up and hit his receivers.
I'm going to have to agree with you. Tom Brady's going to need to have a big game tomorrow. He threw for only, I think, around 200 passing yards, and he's been doing that all season. Not really himself lately, showing a little bit of his age, and there's been all these rumors about him getting traded. I kind of put all those to rest because I don't think that's going to happen. But he's going to be the key if the Patriots want to win. And N'Keal Harry's going to have a big game, in my opinion. A receiver's going to have to step up. You think Philip Dorsett back this week, that could be a big addition for the Patriots, Jacoby Myers. So we'll see how that plays out. Looking forward, again, tomorrow, 4:30 at Gillette for the division and probably the first-round bye. So big game for the Patriots. But yeah, just, again, James White going to have a big game, just kind of some more players. Moving on to around the NFL, Lamar Jackson, he broke the Michael Vick's rushing record last week against the Jets. The Ravens are legit. Do you think that they have the capability to pound the Patriots?
Yeah, definitely. They've shown it. They've shown it way back. When they play in week what? The Patriots?
I don't remember, but
they showed their strengths way back in that. I forget what week it was, but anyway, Lamar Jackson. I think he threw for 5 touchdowns that game, which is surprising. And I thought he was going to be benched way earlier in the game as they went up by 30-something points.
Yeah, they lost by 18, I believe. But what if the Patriots have any chance to beat Baltimore? What is the key piece missing? Do you think it's Brady in the offense, or is it going to be someone on the defense?
Yeah, I think it's going to have to be Brady. He's going to have to step up and throw more touchdowns and less picks.
Now, I'll be honest. I think the Patriots offense, they're a second half offensive team. I think they can put points on the board. It's been tough as of late, but I think they're very capable of doing it. I think the Patriots defense has to find a way to stop Lamar Jackson. You think Coach Belichick, with all this time, he's preparing for this to happen. I think that they'll have a game plan for Lamar, and it's going to be an interesting. He's not the best passing quarterback. I think he leads the league in touchdown passes, but you'll see him throw a duck every once in a while. Hopefully the Patriots can capitalize on that.
Yeah, the problem with Lamar Jackson is he can pass pretty well, but he can also run amazing. So the defense of the Patriots, facing them in the playoffs is going to have to beware of that running ability too.
Yeah, moving on. This is probably another one of the biggest games coming up. Both teams 7-7, the Cowboys and the Eagles. I'm not sure where this game is, but this is for the NFC East, which hasn't been a strong division. Mm-hmm. Both these teams leading, and then the Redskins and the Giants at the bottom of that. But this is pretty much for the fourth seed in the playoffs. Who you taking and why?
It's a toss-up, but I think I'm going to have to go with the Cowboys because they really showed their stuff last week. They haven't really been too consistent over the course of the season, but I think they have a really good shot coming off this strong week last week.
I agree with you. I think it's going to be a good defense versus a stellar offense. Mm-hmm. You think there's Fletcher Cox.
Yeah.
What's his name? I can't think of his name. Ronald Darby plays for them. Who's Malcolm Jenkins is who I was trying to think of. But the Eagles have a solid defense. I think that it's going to be them against a high-powered Cowboys offense. I think Cowboys offense is probably one of the best in the league, in my opinion. You think you got Dak Prescott, Ezekiel Elliott, Michael Gallup, Randall Cobb, Amari Cooper, Jason Witten. They're absolute studs on offense. I think it's going to be whoever has a better defense.
Yeah,
I think that's what's going to come down to. I don't love Carson Wentz under center. They barely beat the Redskins last week.
Yeah.
But we'll see how that.
I think it was overtime win, right? Yeah, overtime touchdown.
No, last second. 11 seconds left.
Yeah.
For a touchdown. But garbage time. And my clicker died. All right. Small malfunction. Moving on. Drew Brees. He broke the Peyton Manning's passing touchdown record of all time. So, well, not all time, but regular season. Tom Brady leads all time. Drew Brees, though, unbelievable resume now. There's been talks of him being the GOAT, but the thing that separates it for me is he only has one Super Bowl ring back in 2011. So that's what separates it for me. Drew Brees is a very solid quarterback, but I don't think he's enough to what do you think about the Saints, though? Do you think they're legit now with Brees back?
Yeah, definitely. He had the injury to his thumb way back in the beginning of the season, and Teddy Bridgewater actually did very, very well stepping in for Brees. But now that Brees is back and they got the number one wide receiver in the league, Michael Thomas, they have Alvin Kamara, I think they're going to be really well off in the playoffs.
Yeah, and moving on to the NHL, the Bruins' struggles have been legit. I think they've lost either 6 of the last 7 or 6 straight. Their struggles in shootouts continue. They have not won a shootout. I think they're 0-5. Tuukka Rask just hasn't looked his best, and I think that's been the big problem for them. Do you know any other problems, or would you also agree it's Tuukka Rask?
I agree. I'm not sure. Who would you rather have in goal, Halak or Rask as of right now?
I think that's a tough one because they both have on and off nights.
Yeah.
Tuukka just hasn't looked sharp lately, but he is the starter. He is one of the best goaltenders in the league. But as of late, he's just struggled, and I think that's been a big part of the Bruins. But around the league, New Jersey Devils made a big move. Taylor Hall got shipped to the Coyotes. He was the Hart Trophy winner last year, so the NHL MVP basically. Do you think that was a good move by the Devils?
I mean,
clearing house now?
Yeah, I think so. They kind of need to restart. They're not really too hot right now, and they need to get rid of their good player.
Another team that I look out for is the New York Islanders. They have Matt Barzal, and they steamrolled the Bruins last night. They looked good. They won in shootouts. They got a lot of talent on that team, and I think they're definitely someone to look out for. Any other teams around the league, Rob, that you think are going to be a threat to the Bruins? Obviously, you have Washington.
Yeah. I think the Lightning's going to be a pretty good threat to them.
I would agree with the Lightning with Stamkos and all those guys.
Yeah.
Kucherov. Okay, so moving on to the NBA, the Bucks topped the Lakers in a matchup against 3 lost teams, I think. They've only lost 3 games apiece. Now the Lakers have 4 losses. Bucks are the real deal. I'll be honest, I thought the Bucks were about to be 5, 6 seed in the East by the end of the season. but they have looked extremely sharp. I don't know how. They lost, I think they lost, what's his
Lopez, Brook Lopez.
Malcolm Brogdon, and yeah, maybe Lopez, and then LeBron with I'm not sure if AD. I think he played. AD played,
I
but
know he
these
was-
two teams are powerhouse. This could be a finals preview.
Yeah, definitely.
How do you feel about the Celtics though? They just had a win over the Mavs.
I think they were really hot in the beginning of the season. Now they've kind of started to slow down. But I think the power rankings they're ranked like 6th or something. So they're not doing awful, but yeah, they're really
Good with
strong.
what they
this
have.
year.
I love Kemba Walker. He's a
Yeah.
good team player, and I think that they're going to have a good playoff push. Moving on to the MLB, Francisco Lindor. He has been on the trade block. The Indians taking calls for him. I'm very interested to see where he goes. It would be scary if the Yankees got him all-star shortstop
Yeah.
out of Cleveland. But yeah, just a trade rumor on Francisco Lindor. And to go along with that, Mookie Betts in trade talks with the Dodgers, so that would be terrible for the Red
Yeah.
Sox. One more year on his contract. But you got to think they can only pay so many people. It's going to be probably
Exactly.
Mookie or JBJ staying here. So that's what it's going to come down to. What do you think about Mookie, though? Would you like to keep him and pay him? Or I feel like he's going to fizzle out a little
Yeah,
bit.
I feel like he's gonna fizzle out. Last year last year he won the AL MVP?
2
Or
years
2 years ago. But yeah, his contract's gonna be up next year. JD's contract's up next year, and Xander's contract's up next year. So
I think they might have extended Bogarts.
Oh, they did? Oh, I
think
didn't see
so.
that. But yeah, the Red Sox, I think they need to kind of restart. Send out Mookie. I think he needs to leave the team. Be traded.
Yeah, I might have to agree with you. As much as I love Betts, I think he's just going to kind of fizzle out, almost like in an Ellsbury sense.
Yeah.
But we'll see. Moving on, this marquee matchup. It doesn't get much better than this. Spartans, Falcons, Olympia Ice Center, 5:10
5:10
tomorrow night. We are very much looking forward to this matchup. I unfortunately won't be there. I'm fortunate enough to be at the Patriots game, but I would. This is just up there. This is one of the best
Crazy.
games of the season. You think about East Long Meadow with a devastating 4-3 loss, with Ron Karate skate blowing out Dante coming in, and a last-minute goal scored by
Yeah.
Minichog, 4-3 win for them. And one of my favorite LCAT calls with Nick Saraceno's goal was that game. And Jack Morehouse had his goal that game.
Yep.
No Jakes. It was an unbelievable contest. There will be students there, so many different students. But what is East Long Meadow going to need to do to pull out a win over Minichog? 2-1. The Spartans are 2-1. But Minichog got crushed by Long Meadow, and they squeaked out a win over
Yeah.
West Springfield. So what does
right.
East Long Meadow have to do?
So I think they're going to have to step up on their defense because there have been quite a few injuries. Travis Arnold has a concussion. Thomas Garvey just broke his collarbone the other day in practice. And I think Jack Morehouse is moving to defense. So I think he's going to have to step up and play defense really well.
But fortunate Andy, who had the flu or
Yeah.
mono or something, he's coming back on the second line, so that is a big plus. Liam Asher will stay on that second line, so it'll be Asher, Miller, Shvetsov on the second line, and then the top line, as usual, Moynihan, Saraceno,
Kervick.
and Kervick. And then the third line will be Haynes, Dobek, and
Whitwer.
Teddy Kuhn, or Luke
I think
Whitwer.
it's Whitwer, yeah.
Yeah, we'll see. So it's going to be tough. As you said, down 2 defensemen. Jack Morehouse trying something new out. Very interested.
Yeah.
And Dante's been playing on his head lately.
Yeah.
He's been playing outstanding net. He gave up 3 goals against Auburn in their 3-1 loss.
Spartans are looking better this year. Last year, I think they started 1-2 or 1-1, something like that. But now I think they're 2-1 with a very tough loss the night. So they're coming in pretty strong.
Auburn,
in
a
this game.
strong hockey team, though. I
Yeah.
don't blame them for the loss. But this is as good as it gets. As I said last year, a tight game. But you know what? I'm very much looking forward to seeing how it turns out.
They lost Jack Barron. Obviously the number.
Well, this is
one player.
Minichog. Barron's
Oh,
in
I
Long
thought
Meadow.
that was
This
picture
is
Long Meadow.
Minichog. But anyway, who's going to need to step up? Who's going to need to have a big game? If you had to pick a key to the game and a final score prediction.
I'm gonna have to go. Mark Shvetsov is gonna have to pick it up. He played for the Picks last year, and now he came back to the Spartans. He's been looking pretty solid. I think he had a goal last game, right? Correct?
Maybe, I think so.
I think so, yeah. So I'm looking for him to step up big.
I think it's going to all come down to the play of Dante Ficini. If he stays strong in net, if he
Yeah.
plays the way he's been,
That's
and
true.
no soft goals, I think that the Spartan offense, especially with
Mm-hmm.
those top 2 lines, is going to be able to produce and squeak out a win over Minichog. Pretty much big game of this year. Possible playoff matchup down the road.
Mm-hmm.
So we're very much looking forward to that. Again, 5:10 Olympia Ice Center. Assuming this is up tomorrow, it will be tonight, 5:10. Moving on, Spartan basketball. The Spartan boys are 1-1. They squeaked out a win over. Well, they crushed Agawam actually, but
Yeah.
lost to Minichog pretty horribly. And the Spartan girls are 2-1. They just topped West Side last night. So both teams have looked strong. What have you liked from the boys' team? Who's been playing pretty well?
I'm liking the point guards, Ankamaras and Paul. I forget his last
Luke
name.
Mazza, but Paul Goslin has
Mazza,
been
yeah.
playing outstanding basketball. Very young team. You think the starting five: Luke Mazza, he's a
Yeah.
sophomore. Paul Goslin, he's a sophomore. Anthony Gamaras is a junior.
Yeah.
Eddie Ag, he had an unbelievable blocking game. I don't think he scored a point, but he had about 6
Unfortunately,
blocks.
got injured. Now he can't play tonight. So
I'm forgetting one more starter. Forgive me, I can't think of it.
Brad. No.
Jack Sweeney, the
Jack
junior, one of the captains. So, the captains are Sweeney, Eddie Ag, and Ant Gamaras. So they've all looked solid. Jack Sweeney and Paul Goslin carried the weight
Yeah.
last game, but Anthony Gamaras, he's been looking
Yeah.
very well, pushing the ball, being a leader out there for the Spartans. And then moving on to the girls. Who's looked good for them? I've really liked the play of Gianna Langoni. In the game I went to, she looked outstanding out there, along with Nicole Coolidge
Nicole
carrying a
Coolidge,
lot
I
of the
was
weight.
gonna say.
Anyone else you'd like to point out on that team?
Ailey, she's been moving the ball really well, passing it. I like her passing the balls.
Yeah,
She's
her
been very
video,
strong.
her ankle breaker, check it
Yeah.
out at the latest ELHS on Instagram. It's got over 1,000 views already, and we have 230 followers. So that's pretty good. But yeah, give us a follow at the latest ELHS on Instagram. Thank you very much for joining us. We'd like to wish you a Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays, Happy New Year to you and your family. On behalf of all of us, Rob Greco, Devin Dobek, this has been the latest.